Right, we're gonna go to start this meeting of the County Board of Adjustment. I think we'll start with introductions. We'll go around the horseshoe here so you know who we are. Wendell, we'll start with you.
Public Works, Delta County. Tim McCracken, Delta County Engineering.
Brittany Haney, Planning Tech.
Austin Hanson, Director of Development.
Ron Hayes, District 1.
Candace Blair, District 2.
Mike Twomley, District 1. Is there anybody here to make a public comment on items not on the agenda for this evening? I don't believe so. Okay, we're gonna move on. Agenda additions. Deletions or corrections? No. Meeting minutes, none. Scheduled items. The first item, before we talk about the first item, I just wanted to bring up that I've spoken with Mr. Betts on a job site that was adjacent to or close to his property. We chatted, I think he needed stucco man or something to that effect.
Yes.
It was just a job site, it was redoing a roof, so. He did start to tell me what his plans might be, and I stopped the conversation and said, you know, just so I don't have to recuse myself. But should anybody have driven by and seen us sometime in the last year, 6 months or something, small. I just thought I'd bring that up for clarification, and we'll move on to PLN 23-103. That's
All right, so today we are considering a variance for PLN 23-103 Betts. The subject parcel is located about 2.54 miles directly north of the town of Cedar Ridge on the south side of the Ute Trail Road. It's a public road and is publicly maintained. The Board of Adjustments will consider a variance to the Delta County Road and Bridge standards for an access off of Ute Trail Road. The applicant applied for a minor plat with proposed access from Ute Trail Road for proposed lot 2 on the subject property. The property has been zoned as agricultural 5 acres A5, and the proposed lot meets the minimum size requirements required by zoning. Access is an allowed use in the A5 zoning designation and is also a requirement of the subdivision. County engineering reviewed the proposed access to the subject parcel for the proposed lot 2 and found that it did not meet county road standards. County staff have discussed the proposed access with the applicant multiple times. Other options were presented. However, the applicant would like to keep the proposed ingress egress to proposed lot 2 as it was presented in their development application site plan. The applicant is requesting a variance to the Delta County Road and Bridge standards to keep the proposed access point in its current location, which is a deviation from the regulations in place of the road and bridge standards. If the variance is approved, the applicant will continue with the subdivision process, which includes county engineering issuing an access permit prior to the final plat being recorded. That's the basics behind this.
any questions for staff?
Was there so Ute Trail, what's on? What part of Ute Trail is that? The west side of 65 or the east side?
East.
Okay, east, okay.
If it would help on front pictures.
I live up in that area too, so I was just trying to focus on the Grand Mesa in order to north of. So I'll close my eyes and focus. But is there the access easement that they want? There's no crossroad on the east side, not 2375 road or anything like that.
No, there's no, this is quite a bit of distance from an actual road,
Okay,
either the 23-25 or Service Creek.
perfect, okay.
I did put the site plan up. So this is the proposed plat. So the existing access is about right here, correct? I don't know if you can see that. And, where Chris Betts is planning to put his access is right here where this red line is.
Okay.
Did anybody decide how far away those were? Between those two?
From,
It says right here in the engineering comments, it's approximately 307 feet.
right, so there's 13 feet between driveways. So you can't center it between them and still get your 325 to be 325 from each driveway. So that's why I proposed across from the other one to the west.
Back on that.
Back. Slide, yeah.
You want,
We have a question about it.
Is that minor arterial instead of mineral?
Yes.
Okay. I thought maybe we started mining it.
Any other questions, or you want to hear from the applicant next?
Sure.
Mr. Betts, would you like to expand on anything or on your application, or,
Please come up to the microphone.
yeah, if you want to say anything.
Are you interested in seeing any photos? Would that help clarify things?
Okay,
Um,
so you heard the photos are available if you need them.
Yeah, I think just the overall GIS and looking at that, I think that's sufficient. Do you have any concerns that you need to?
no, I have concerns about the proposed, not Chris's proposed, but the proposed change. Because that. Because that requires a change, either shifting the proposed subdivision east considerably, or to bring a, like a frying pan handle out.
Check.
Now, also, it's directly across from a driveway, which there aren't there very often, but it's just a bit of a concern there. It also will require an older tree to be either trimmed considerably or completely removed, and there is a pole there. Electric pole or a phone pole or something, and it's getting closer to the irrigation ditch as well.
That's on
which
the
is
proposed, or that's on this,
what's been proposed by the county is will require that tree to be removed,
I understand.
and the pole to be moved, and it's also closer than we would like to the irrigation ditch if we have to get in there and do any significant changes to the ditch or repairs or improvements. So I think that's the extent of my concerns, unless you have other questions for me.
No, I don't think so. Thank you for your comment.
Thank you.
It's basically, we're here for the number, 325 number again. The parameters. Well, you get to join us in these meetings. So what are we talking, 18 feet on this
Yeah.
one to the strict code, right? If it's
Yeah.
307 but still
So,
for the piece that they're wanting to take
Right.
off, it seems like it's a practical place for a drive. Anywhere in that footage would be practical, even if it doesn't meet the 325.
that's what we're here for. I mean, that's your guys' decision. That's why we're here. The 325 is the standard based on the road classification, which I'm not allowed to vary from. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they're there for safety reasons, so.
They're at the threes.
Right. And I know there's a lot of other ones that are not to code, but I can't do anything about what was done in the past. I can only do what going forward, this is, so. The two trees closest to the road are within the right of way. So technically, the county could remove them if they were a problem. They're not, so we probably won't remove them. And the power pole, as long as you're about 10 feet from the power pole, the driveway would work there.
Any other issues that you see?
No. It's a pretty straight road.
It's a long, straight road.
It is.
Right.
Yeah.
So you will have people speeding down that road. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of people go up to the BLM up north, up Surface Creek, so
Sure.
it's gonna get a lot of traffic, so.
And line of sight's not the issue for.
No,
Applicants
no.
proposed,
No,
it's just the lineal
it's just
footage.
the lineal feet based on the code.
But we don't need going closer to the existing driveway for lot one, you actually get smaller, don't you? If the proposed is in green and the county's proposed is in red,
Yes,
is that correct?
yes.
So we're getting close to the existing dwelling and shop. If right now it's 307,
So do you have a further shot that you can zoom in?
The only thing I
That
have
one.
is just the plat.
So the proposed,
would be west of that.
Yeah, it's
Red
this
arrow,
big
right?
red arrow
yeah,
and the existing.
which would be on the easternmost portion of the property. Or closer to it.
Okay, well. Deliberate a little bit. Any other questions? Would you like to go with this?
You okay with that? No questions?
Would you like to see the recommendation?
Let's make them.
Oh, I see the matters.
I'll need a little more time. Okay.
Right, I'd like to make a motion that we approve PLN 23-103 bets on staff recommendations.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries. You guys?
Thank you. That it?
That's it.
If you wanted to hang out with us, got pizza. We see it every meeting.
Thank you guys. Well, thank you for your time in the presentation and such.
Kate,
Nice with
city
the
planner will be in touch with you.
done.
With Chris, so Chris will get a email from Kate stating. Okay?
And what are the, just a little notification, what are the current required, inspections that you have to get now? I know it's, like, septic tank and that kind of stuff. And I believe electric,
Water access,
yeah, we've got that.
septic, address. That's it.
That's it. Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Requests and referrals. We got a comment. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I guess I do have a comment. Okay, just that, thank you guys, everyone. That's it for this fiscal year. Yeah, Merry Christmas.
It's been interesting,
It's been
to say the least.
There's a lot of learning that goes on here and, a lot of education,
That's,
so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys, yes. Good work.
Ron, did you have anything?
not tonight.
Couple of questions. Yeah. There was a, and in construction standards. Is that truly what we have?
That, yes, that's what's in the road
All
standards.
of this, so it seems to conflict with, the radar that the county sheriff's department uses. I wasn't aware that we had county roads that were 60 miles an hour,
I don't believe we do.
right?
I
It
don't-
seems like most of them think it's 45.
I
unless
think that's
posted
the
otherwise.
max I've seen.
Yeah,
That's all I've.
and that's, you know, according to this, for a minor arterial and stuff, it just seems like the numbers don't quite.
Well, it's
jive
not
with
just
what's
about
there.
speed, though. It's about moving people.
Mhm.
So arterials are used to move people. It's mobility is what it is, not necessarily speed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a road you want to be doing 65 on.
No,
And they do. it-
There's not a county road you should be doing 65 on.
but unfortunately, there's people that do it every
Right.
day.
Yeah,
Right.
I just wondered why it was in print, you know, because it seemed pretty excessive. Maybe that's
The
something.
classifications are based on Federal Highway Administration guidelines.
Okay.
So that's,
That's
it's based on that. So it's not something we can just go change. We gotta go through the state and it's a big process.
Okay. Which kind of leads me to my next item. I want to try soon to get on the agenda for a county commissioners meeting. And just go over a couple of things that I think they ought to at least look at. If they don't change them and there's reasons why we don't change them, that's fine, but some of these distances for driveways, it seems like it really seems kind of silly because it ties up the applicant. It ties you up to come to a meeting to
Yeah.
discuss what's going on. And it's kind of a slippery slope. If you're not an elected official, how can we throw that responsibility on you to make that decision? But maybe the only way out of it may be to have a board like this and go through that process
Right.
every single time. But if there's any room for modification and getting the land use code so that all the different aspects of it might work better than they do now, and we're still just beating this up, we'll get our brand new in here to look at soon.
Mhm.
But if there's a couple of items that we could get them to think about before administration changes again, and then we get to
Right.
break in a new commissioner, you know, so.
So Mike, kind of what I hear you saying is that, rather than having a strict standard of 325 feet between driveways, maybe there is a range that should, 300 to 330 feet or something like that.
So
Can you speak to that?
part of the distance thing is a stopping, how long it takes you to stop going a certain speed. So that's mainly where the distance comes from. So the higher speed you have, the more distance you need to stop. So if somebody's coming barreling down U Trail and somebody pulls out, if they're going 65, they're gonna need a lot more space to stop.
And, yeah,
So that's why they have the
the
distances,
standard, yeah,
right?
and I get the necessity for.
So I don't want my name on a permit for a driveway that
Right,
could cause problems.
Could open up some
Right,
litigious situations.
right.
but I think I'm still gonna mention that, maybe a
Right.
couple others, just two, if nothing else, if it's something they can look at, if there's a posted speed limit on that.
Mhm.
Maybe that could help.
Yeah,
Well, and I think the language too, with what you said, the language in land use code could maybe be adapted to that, the different speed limits and sliding scale of acceptable ranges on that.
I know the board wants the road standards updated, but they don't want to do it while they're working on the
Yeah.
land use code, so.
Well, it's always a good time to whine and not whine, so we just kind of talk with Robbie LaValley and figure out when's a good time to jump in and do something like that. But I think I don't know if there is a solution, but if this applicant, if that driveway issue wasn't an issue and you felt that the speed limit on that road was such in the line of sight and take all the other safety things into account, you know, it would have been a minor and it would have just stayed with your
Right.
office, right? You know, just to expedite things, we made a special meeting for these folks. For whatever reason, we just didn't get it fit in or whatever the reason is.
Yeah.
It would just expedite things for everybody. Without making a big stink about it, if there's a way to do it and be a little more efficient as a board of adjustment or something. Everybody, all the comments I hear in the public is, why do we have to go to the board of adjustment?
Yeah.
You know?
That's been,
Because it's this, you know, it's the
Yeah.
safety net, I guess, is what we are. This is your chance to, you know, vary from the code.
we
So-
vary a lot.
Yeah, it seems like we do, in the driveway thing comes up so much.
It does.
Well, some people push back, I get, like, these guys push back. Some people don't be like, okay, yeah, we'll move it.
Right.
Some people push back, they know this is what I want, so.
Yeah.
This is what you want, this is how you get it.
We don't have the authority to change the rules that we have to work with.
Right.
Right.
You guys do. Yeah. I don't want that authority either.
No, we don't get paid.
Right, yeah.
All right, that's all
We
I
get
have.
enough heat as it is.
Yeah.
Let's move on to department report.
I don't have anything to report today. We had a great meeting with the PC last night. We're getting closer to having a new land use code. All the information I have.
All right, I'm going to move on to Christmas party. What is the?
Right?
Did you read Yeah,
This is on this way.
well, if we don't have a Christmas party to talk about, I think we could adjourn the meeting. Thanks for coming. Sorry it took so long.